What is a good way to visualize it? There's a movie called The Big Friendly Giant. And my mom taught children's literature, and she read me The Big Friendly Giant. And then I saw the movie, and the concept of this giant that no one can see except for this little girl who's probably schizophrenic. And schizophrenics don't need to be locked up in a padded room or anything. They just need to be understood. I wouldn't let them drive your bus, but they're seeing shit that we're not seeing and I don't want to see. And that's fine. So he is extracting dreams, or no, he's depositing dreams inside little girls as they sleep. And he keeps these dreams like they look like stars, like bioluminescence or audio sonoluminescence, like light coming from a sound, just like the stars. And he keeps them in jars, and they come from a giant tree. Sound familiar? This is all very religious. And he inserts them into the children. And then you have the other giants that eat the children. You have Blood Bottler and Bone Crusher and all this stuff that they eat the children. And I don't think it is literal. I don't think that there's giants on a cloud that come down and eat us literally, but they do in a way. And so the Big Friendly Giant is more of the one that's trying to help humans, allegedly. My family has been taking care of the schizophrenic uncle for about 14 years now. It can get trippy. Yeah, their blinders are off. It's kind of like a racehorse without blinders. Are they evil? No, but you can't run them like a horse anymore. They're a danger. They might jump and freak out. If they hurt somebody, is because they're sadistic? No, it's because they're terrified because they see like a demon sucking your loosh from your back. And it's like they could be eating our soul. They are. Not our soul. I believe our soul is eternal and can't be destroyed or sold. But our energy, like, okay, think about $1 in the system. Think about how many times it's taxed until it's right back to the source. It's like water. That's why it's called currency, current. So when rain comes down, it goes to a river. It just keeps going until it's back to the ocean. So $1, you get paid $1. You have to pay tax on that dollar. Let's say it's, I'm not going to do all the math right now, but you pay tax on the dollar. Then you give the dollar, then you give what's left. Let's say it's 60 cents to someone else. They now have to pay tax on that because it's now their income. It's not like you pay tax on $1 and you're done. No, that's why the concept of money, most people don't understand. It's only a way to extract labor. So 60 cents. So now it goes to somebody else. They pay tax on it. So now it's down to 30 cents. They go out and buy something. They have to pay sales tax. Now that person has 20 cents and they now have to pay tax on it. It's down to 14 cents. They give it to someone else. It's down to 8 cents and now it's back to the ocean. That's why when people talk about like balancing the budget and all this stuff, it's a joke. The concept that you get taxed and now you have your money. No, it's every movement of money. You have to pay the piper, pay the piper. And why am I not against government? I'm not against government. I'm actually pro-government, not the way it's currently functioning, but you're always going to have a government. I'm not anti-taxes. You're always going to have taxes. I just want people to understand what they are. It's an extraction mechanism of your labor. And it was agreed upon thousands of years ago by even the smallest tribes. You always have to pay the piper. You always have to give tithe to the chief. You always have to give a coin to the ferryman. This is how the world works. And so to deny how the world works isn't helpful. But to understand it is very powerful. Steiner claimed shelf life of all currencies are 25 years. Might be how long it takes to whittle it down. But it always does the same thing. You can call $1 a doodadee and it's still the same thing. It's based on a belief in value. And so you're given X amount of, that's why I spend all my money on, and then I'll get back to the BFG, just remind me. That's why I put all my resources back into my land, my businesses, my community, because that's where it goes anyway. And so you do have write-offs, and our tax system is oddly moral. And I know that sounds crazy because the income tax is technically illegal and all this stuff and where they put their money with the bombs and all that. But if you're running a dairy farm and you bring in $100,000 and you use that money to buy more cows, more grain, more hay, all that stuff, you don't pay tax on any of that. So it encourages growth of businesses. So the minute you want out of putting back into society, then you have to pay the piper. Let's say you want to buy a pair of Armani pants. That's not a write-off, that's a luxury. So the luxuries, you have to pay the piper to get that fancy pant. And now if the person who makes the fancy pants uses that money to buy more silk and leather and buttons, then or pay their labor, then then they don't pay tax on that, and onward and onward and onward. So every time the dollar, like a paid dollar, goes down and down, it's because people are pulling the money out to indulge in something. And they don't tax bartering, which is fair. You can live without paying any taxes. That's my goal. But doing it within the system and not challenging the system, and also not only not challenging the system, but not embarrassing the system, because that's when they will spare no cost to destroy you. And that's not a fight I want. And it's, I don't even think there's a reason for that fight. My cloth is definitely a write-off. Yeah, absolutely, Taylor Bear.